That way you all have some time to think about it, what you wanna do, not wanna do, and we can visit next meeting, along with, Mr. Palmer's thoughts, so.
Okay.
Two good thoughts we can think about next week. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. Now let's go to department reports, and we're gonna start with ladies first. Wake you up back there.
I've got several things happening in the spring, but I wanna talk to you about a new thing that's gonna be coming to Kennett this June. It is called Ride the Fault Line. It's a bicycle tour group that tours through Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. And Kennett, Missouri is gonna be the first stop this year. So it's gonna be a group of 500 to 600 bicyclists. These are people who are professionally skilled, prepared to ride 60 miles a day for 7 days. They've rerouted their trip to start in New Madrid to make it feasible to get to Kennett for the first day. They're gonna spend the night, so they will be looking to eat at our restaurants. A few people will be staying at hotels. They have camper trailers that will be following them too, because some people like to sleep in a camper, so their spouse may ride behind them. And then some will even be camping outside because they're used to being in the weather for a week at a time. So this is gonna be a really interesting tourism activity that's gonna happen here that hasn't happened before. And this is gonna give us a chance to really shine. If we do it right, they'll come back every year. They've traveled to a few different communities for their first stop that hasn't worked out the past few years, so I convinced them to come to Kennett. So hopefully we can make it look good. Not only is this gonna benefit restaurants and hotels, but this also has the potential to benefit civic groups, high school kids, Boys and Girl Scouts, any little group that's willing to to do a little effort can make a little extra money. So the director of this organization said when the bikers come in, they've biked about 60 miles, they're tired. Commonly, Boy Scout groups will help people get their bags off, set up their tents, do whatever they need to do. Anyone who if cheerleaders want to sell hot dogs or barbecue or hand out bottled water sodas, these people are prepared to pay people from the community who want to patronize them. So I'm going to be having a meeting February 27th. I haven't set up the exact time yet, so I'm going to be calling different civic groups. I'd like to have somebody there from public safety, just in case these people need help. They get cooperation through the state patrol to help them get escorted, but to get into Kennett, it might be nice to have some help from public safety. We'll also be trying to get a hold of Medic One, possibly to be in attendance in case anyone needs medical care while they're there. But this will be a really great opportunity for all different aspects of the community to show what we've got to offer in Kennett. So I'll be contacting different civic groups this week, seeing who would like to be involved, and we'll have a meeting with the director of this organization this month.
What day is this?
The meeting is going to be February 27th at the chamber. They are going to arrive here June 14th, and they'll leave out June 15th.
Where will they be camping? Where is it?
At the Legion and Fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds.
So they are renting the Legions because people can be inside, and so they like to be outside. They can use the chamber's tree line, and they have shower trailers that follow them too, and they'll use the campground hookups out there. Yeah. So, and there's a few other things. The chamber banquet's coming up, you all know. I wish I could tell you who I've got lined up for a speaker, but I'm 95% done with that, so I'm not going to tell you until I'm 100%. But make sure you guys are ready for that. And I don't have the exact date. I'm just waiting on him to tell me and give me the go-ahead. But that'll be coming in March. And then tomorrow I have a meeting with the communities involved in the 100-mile yard sale. Kennett's been involved with that for several years, but it kind of happens outside of Kennett. We're looking for a way to reel it in this year. So I'll be meeting with those other communities tomorrow to talk about marketing to get Kennett a little bit more business out of the 100-mile yard sale. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In your packet, you've got the ended year for fire. And, you'll see, we've got a 6-year trend in there, and you can see that just doing an average of 6-year trend by 1,041. This last year was down. We've tweaked a little bit on the EMS calls and tried some of the stuff that really, as first responders, we have no effect on someone. They're out. We've kind of gotten with dispatchers in the communication center, and they've kind of screened some of those to try and save that needless going out. But there again, if the EMS happens to be out of pocket, sometimes we do get called for those. And, it all depends, but anyway, last year was a downward trend, but 12:01 a.m. this year, it started with a bang, so we're hoping that it slows down a little bit, as we go along. You also have the, Humane Department, got a real nice form now, legible. Good work on some of the people that worked on that, got that cleaned up.
I was talking of, at the campfire a while ago before we started, dogs adopted, 67. Quite a few dogs.
It's a monthly trend, I mean, it's just unbelievable, but, it just keeps going on. And it's a lot cheaper to see them adopted out than it is to try to have to put them down, because there's more than just putting an animal down. The individuals involved in delivering them and putting them down, it has a, I guess, psychological effect after a while on someone, so.
Director, there's been a big change in your rescue calls. Is there a change in terminology or a reason for it?
Let me see.
Page 3, page 2 and 3.
Oh.
Keep talking about-
In the rescue, well, there's a definition of it on the second page. Rescue will be whether it's a motor vehicle, a farm, water, industrial accident, or medical response.
I know it's a big drop though. Is there
Yes.
anything that just,
Just a trend, and I mean, like I said, we've been screening some, but if you look at it, I mean, there's been a trend. When you look at, now I'll go here on even some of the, when we look at in the city, and we look at some of the, vehicle rescues, we were doing 56, 69, 65, 58. Last 2 years, they've dropped down to 33 and 30. So, it's just, I don't know if it's better highway enforcement. Hopefully, we can think that's what is a contributor to it, So, and then medical rescues, you're looking at a 200 difference there, because we're doing a little bit better job on screening them,
oh, good.
things like that, so. Anyway, hopefully we can keep the trend on downward or on a lower even keel. Some of the law enforcement, 2 of them, I think Deputy Chief Dennis and Captain Goddard are gonna be attending a free conference this next weekend on missing children and exploitation of children, and I think it's a problem that's nationwide, so they had an opportunity to partake of a conference with expenses paid, so I think it's a good thing there. Bring back some information, not that we hate to see a lot of it, but then again, it might be one of those hidden things you're not aware of. So, we don't have anything else this time to report. If you have any questions after you look this over, either give me a call or see me at the next council meeting, we can discuss it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carter, I think you had something else you'd like to discuss?
Nothing. Street department. In the conversation anytime tonight. Thank you for allowing my employees to be recognized at the council. I appreciate it. Mr. Weatherwax.
You got a new street sign in my neighborhood.
The best,
Thank you, sir.
best count I've got, we've got 301 street signs up.
Thank you, sir.
Now he knows how to get home.
Only if I come down.
Basically, we've still from College West and Independence and San Francisco North, we've gotten a little bit done on the Linden Circle and Butler Drive area. Mr. Wheeler, particularly in your area down there, I misunderstood my employees and I started marking in that area, and they had started on the west, on the north side and went across, and they'd started on the south side and going east. So we ran out of signs over there and they weren't made. So that's the reason we've left your area.
I was just mowed here, there, and yonder, we got new signs up, and I appreciate it. So,
We've gone back to Baker and Gardens Edition, Oliver Edition. We've gotten some of Crawford Church, Ashton, out in there and that type of stuff. So we're gonna be moving across and we'll be coming back across the south end. But, you know, we still have a long ways to go. We got a lot of signs to put up, but we're working on it pretty steady. Hope you've had an opportunity to notice that they've gotten the sidewalks in on electric and Russell. We've got a little bit of touch-up and some corrections to make on those, but they're minor. They started working today on First Street, Radio Shack, and are working back to the west. They're gonna do this in two moves, if you will. They're gonna start there where old Radio Shack used to be, and everything works right, they'll start there tomorrow. That's the reason we've had the discussion about asking for increased law enforcement in that area. Chief Dennis and I had already talked, like you said. But they're gonna be replacing the storm drain under the sidewalk from the old Radio Shack down to Depot Street. So they're gonna tear out a little bit and then put that pipe in, tear out a little bit, put that pipe in, tear out that pipe and put a little bit in. So we won't get caught with a bitterly cold day and in a rain and like that, and mess it up and everything like that. When they get down to around Andy's Creation, from McVeigh, they're gonna stop, get all that put back together before they, I don't know which end they're gonna start, whether they'll keep going or they'll start at the other end and come back. But they're very cognizant, they've talked to me 2 or 3 times, that they're gonna be sure that they keep at least one of your driveways open. They're gonna be very conscious of the businesses and that type of stuff. You know, but, I mean, they've come to me saying, hey, we really, you know, you know, they've looked while they've been in here in town, and, you know, but, so hopefully all that will work smooth. It's still gonna take a few days, you know, to get things torn out and put back in. But, one of the things that's gonna slow them down a little bit is, you know, they're bringing an electrician in to do the electrical wiring for the streetlights. You know, so I mean, it's not just tear out the old sidewalk and pour it right back like we've had, you know, up here a little bit. There's gonna be a little extra work. You know, I think it's moving fairly smooth on that. And the last thing is I'd like to make a recommendation for hiring Cody Ray Miller. He's a young man. I'd like to recommend him for hiring as a laborer for the street department, $10.50 an hour. This will bring us up to our
Fully staffed.
fully staffed from what we've been since I've been here. That will still leave us actually one short from what we were originally set up for. But this will give us 2 new employees. And don't get me wrong, we're grateful to have them, and we're grateful that they're young people. But, you know, we're not fully staffed. You know, we won't be fully staffed if these 2 gentlemen stay for a year or 18 months before they learn things. I mean, they'll still be able to help us and learn it. But, you know, we hire an experienced construction worker in, and he's still gonna be working different things because we do so many different varied things. But, both of these gentlemen, appear to be young, hard workers, and, we're pleased with the young man we have now. But, you know, he's been there since 1st of January, and he's not been on a piece of equipment yet. And, you know, sooner, probably in the next couple of weeks, he'll have an opportunity to get on a piece of equipment and start learning how to operate it. But, as you all know, our toys are big, and they're dangerous, and we just don't turn them loose on them immediately. And, they've got to earn the respect of the people that are there and going to be working with them on the ground before the guys that are there will be willing to work around that piece of equipment when they're on it.
Stand on a jackhammer.
That experience, you know, they want to get that trust by working with them for a little while. So
This is a budgeted position.
this is a budget position, yes.
Is there a motion to approve this hire?
So moved. Second.
And discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, might say one other thing.
We talked to Chief Dennis last month. He was able to get, if it hadn't been for well, we had some activities in here with the concerts and that, and we'll get reimbursed for some of that, but also we had a major case squad call out. Hadn't been for that, what would it been, 1 hour under,
1 hour under.
under the overtime?
Good,
So those are unpredictables that happen to us that we can't
excellent.
justify, but I did wanna make that, mention that there's been an effort to, you know, curtail it, but some things sometimes are uncontrollable, so.
Good job.
There you go, we go, Chief Dennis.
Good job. Anything else? Big.